Canada. Boy, we're really far from each other. I had 22 hours of total of travel to get into this hotel. And I arrived yesterday at 4 a.m., managed to have 2 hours sleep. Then I enjoyed my time with you all day yesterday, and I was hoping to sleep tonight, but again, I had only 2 hours. So I'm on 72 hours or so with a 4-hour sleep. And I'm not whining. What I'm trying to do here is compliment your wonderful coffee, because your coffee, your strong, wonderful coffee is what keeps me alive. So again, it is my pleasure to be here with you, and perhaps you, just like me, have a list of places on this earth you want to visit before you die. Well, let me tell you, India was on my list. It is wonderful to be here. I always wanted to visit your country and see your rich architecture and history, and I want to ask you to please embrace it, protect it, and use it in your designs. Thank you. Very quickly, I also would like to take the opportunity to thank Brace Corporation Publications, especially Deepak Gupta and the organizers of the association, India Kitchen Congress, for inviting me, and also caring for advancing sustainability. I also would like to thank all of you attending today. I have great respect to you all, because you are here for one reason. You do care for our earth and its future. It doesn't matter I'm from Canada and you're in India, or my new friend is from Australia. We are all sharing one earth. It is our common interest to protect it for us, for our children, and for their children. We have no borders for pollution. We share one sun, and it is our common interest to work together towards saving our earth and our future. Besides this main and rather moral reason why we should care for sustainability, I also truly believe when we properly communicate our responsible commitment in the way we're doing business, and it doesn't matter what segment you are in, be it design or cabinet making appliances, when we properly communicate our responsibility, we will earn respect from our clients, from our business partners, and our community, and that is the most powerful and essential tool to success. Now, let me ask this. How many of you think going green and being sustainable is hard to do? It's too expensive, we have to meet a budget, and green products are just too expensive to work with budgets? Who has these problems? Only one hand. What am I doing here? Well, anyway, usually I get lots more hands, and I wanted to prove that today, that if you feel that way, which no one in this room, then you're not prioritizing the client's needs and wishes in the right priority order. Also, understanding the trade-offs and responsibly and creatively working with trade-offs will help you make and meet any budget while you remain sustainable. Respecting the client is also part of success, and definitely meeting a budget falls under. However, as I mentioned, and I'm going to try to touch on, creativity comes into place, and a trade-off should never, ever. If one thing I would like you to take away today from my presentation is that a trade-off should never, ever be on the expense of health. And I think we have this responsibility, and we cannot ignore that. We cannot place profit over the health of the importance of providing health to our clients. And again, there are ways to meet any budget, and how we communicate options to the client will help us and help the client also to make proper choices. So I have this picture up, so just very quickly, I have my family. I have a picture I made in the kitchen, from my kitchen window, and that I made in April. We still had snow. And I have my puppy, the best security system you can have. And one picture with some of my awards. So let me see if I have this right. Yes. So today, what we are going to do, we are going to touch on what is sustainable kitchen. Now, when I say touch on, I do mean touch on, because each slide I'm going to share with you, we could actually spend more time on if we would want to go into more detail, or we would have time to brainstorm and attack problems that we're facing every day. I also had to make minor changes to the workshop, because originally I was planning a hands-on workshop. Having said that, we don't have table for everybody, so I'm rather going to have a presentation for you, but we'll have some exercises at the same time. So first, let's look at some globally accepted terms just to set the base for today's presentation. What is sustainable design? Sustainable design is the philosophy of designing physical objects, the built environment, and services to comply with the principles of economic, social, and ecological sustainability. Probably many of you heard of the three Ps. Means people, planet, profit, also called the three pillars of sustainability, or triple bottom line thinking. Now, triple bottom line thinking is really the first time when business success is no longer defined only by monetary gain, but also by the impact an organization's activities have on society as a whole. The intention of sustainable design is to eliminate negative environmental impact completely through skillful, sensitive design. And this is key, skillful, sensitive, and is an opportunity for you to set yourself above your competitors. Sustainable manufacturing, create and distribute innovative and long-lasting products and services that minimize the use of natural resources, produce zero waste, contain no toxic substances, create net zero greenhouse gases during the product's entire life cycle. And this is key to sustainable manufacturing. A sustainable kitchen considers water efficiency, energy efficiency, materials and resources, indoor air quality, universal design, and timeless beauty. So what are the main objectives of sustainable design? Conserve and protect water, optimize energy use, use environmentally friendly products, rapidly renewable materials, enhance indoor air quality, optimize site potential, optimize operational and maintenance practices. Sustainability from a design perspective. There are three categories we should be aware of: human expectations, economic expectations, and environmental expectations. Human expectations include comfort, health, light, clean air, and safety. Economic expectations are return on investment, extended life cycle. We should connect sustainability to common sense innovation that results in more innovation, user need, and naturally will result in more profit. In order for an environmental sustainability to be financially sustainable, it needs to make sense for people. We need to understand what motivates our clients, we need to communicate the choices available, and their not so visible trade-offs. And I will touch on that in a little bit more detail. So environmental expectations are, again, sensitivity to availability of resources, site selection, and reduced pollution. So what are the benefits of sustainable practices? There are direct savings and indirect savings. Direct savings are energy cost savings, reduced maintenance costs, increased productivity, reduced health costs, increased resale, real estate value for resale value, higher revenue potential. Indirect savings include happier occupants, positive tenant-owner relationship, marketability as a healthy environment. When you consider a product, go through these points and ask yourselves, how expensive is this product to run and operate? How durable it is? What kind of warranty does it come with? How expensive it is to fix after expiry of warranty? How easy is it to keep clean? How user-friendly it is? All these questions, when you manage to answer positively, it will result in happier occupants. And I will have an exercise for you. A sustainable kitchen understands and responsibly considers energy, water, and air quality in a space. I would like you to take your pen and pencil and please create 3 columns. One for air quality, one for energy, and one for water. And try to list as many items under each column that comes to your mind when you look at this kitchen. As you can see, I've placed air quality over the window simply because an operating window will provide fresh air. I've also placed the energy over the window because the window will provide natural light, and with that we will reduce the need for electricity and therefore we save energy. I placed energy over the fridge simply because fridge draws energy. I'm going to give you a few minutes and please indicate with your eye contact when you're ready to continue. Try to list as many items on the picture. For example, in my column, I would have under air quality the window, because an operable window will allow fresh air in.
So she's suggesting that we make 3 columns.
One for energy, one for water, and one for air quality.
And list out as many things as we can within a kitchen under each column.
Okay, so looks like most of you ready. So let's start with air quality. Who managed to have at least 4 items listed under air quality? Wonderful. Mary, would you like to share it with us? And just give a quick explanation as to why you placed them there.
Obviously you said window, I said raincoat.
Very good.
Circulating inside the room, it's going to recirculate the sun again. I also said the materials chosen, what they're emitting into the air. For example, if you're using E0 or E1 or E2 particle board, because all the materials that you use in a space emits toxins into the air and that you breathe them in. So that's really important. So that's something that I've written down. And then I've also just listed benchtop material, all the materials, and I've also listed fridge, oven, and all those things that blow air back into the same room.
Very good. So let's move on to energy. Who managed to have at least 4 items listed under energy? Excellent. Let's hear.
For energy, we are using like good windows, open windows, so that a lot of light comes in, so there's no need for using more lighting. Then for energy, we can use the fridge and other appliances.
Very good.
5-star rating to save the energy. In the light section, we can use LED lights to save the energy. And normally, like water dispenser in Indian cooking, Indian homes, people, like if they make tea, they make it on a gas and boil the water and all the things. But if they are using water dispenser, it gives the hot water just right away, and you can use the dip
Instant
tea bag.
hot water.
So you will be saving a lot of
Very good.
energy and gas on that also.
Yes, excellent. Very
you.
good. So let's move on to water. Anybody managed to have at least 4? 3? Okay, let's hear the 3.
One can install water purifier for better quality water, and then again the water dispenser for managing the water cautiously. You will be taking only that much quantity of water which you need. Either it is in a cold form or it is in a hot form. Otherwise, if you are making other things, like if you are cooking, so sometimes what happens, about 30% of the water is evaporated just to get to make it hot. That is the thing. And the third item was like the small geysers. In India, we use small geysers for hot water for using in the kitchen also, for cleaning the utensils. So if you are using this direct line geysers, which are small and get heat up instantly, so you will be saving a lot on the water and energy front.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you very much. So basically, yes, he and Mary deserves a clap. I agree. So this will help me to highlight, as we continue on, some additional features that we should be aware of and consider when we are designing kitchens or recommending appliances. So first, let's look at water conservation. Nearly 1 billion people has no access to potable water. Potable water is drinking water. I think this is serious, and I'm sure you agree with me. Definitely time to pay attention how we're wasting water, because how we're using and treating water as is right now in the kitchen and the bathroom too, but today we have a kitchen workshop. There are many ways, and I'm going to highlight some of those that we should definitely understand, care for, and communicate to our clients when we're designing. So our main source of potable water in the kitchen is the faucet. Sink is where the maximum savable potable water is wasted, simply because our hands are busy and we let the water run. The kitchen faucets, the residential kitchen faucets, need to fill pots 2.5 gallons per minute as a minimum. We know how much water we need to cook. It does not make sense to have a reduced flow rate. It would just take us longer to stand there and fill up that pot we need. So therefore, the 2.5 gallons per minute as a minimum is acceptable. Water efficient, a faucet is water efficient only if it does the job with less water. So how can we do that? In the kitchen, we have to find ways to save water other than reducing flow rates. For example, foot pedal. How many of you use foot pedal mechanism in the kitchen? Nobody? Yes, you do. I made my homework, I did my homework, and it's definitely available. I will email you. Definitely, it's available in the Indian market. So anyway, foot pedal is a wonderful way of saving water because we're operating, our hands can be busy. It doesn't matter. As soon as we don't need the water, we just step off, right? Any sensor operation is also a smart consideration for saving water. Spray operation. Anybody consider the spray operations as a sustainable tool to have? Well, let's think of it. When we have a big bowl of salad, if we would just work with the condensed solid flow, how long it would take us and how much water we actually would waste by trying to apply the water properly everywhere, while the spray operation can spread immediately, and with that, we can do the job much faster. So basically, these three, just to give you an example, please keep that in mind when you're recommending products. Water conservation, we should be aware of these three categories. Just very quickly, potable water, as I mentioned, is the drinking water. Non-potable water is unsafe for drinking. Storm water and river water, for example, would fall under. Gray water, again, unsafe for drinking. Wastewater from kitchen, bathroom sinks would fall under. And ways to save water in a home would be Energy Star dishwasher, and we will touch on in more detail. But little things like eliminating leaks, caulk around pipes and fixtures, conduct annual checks of hoses and pipes, collect water used to wash fruits, vegetables, and reuse it. You can reuse it to plant the indoor flowers or plants you have. And this will take us to an important message I would like you to, again, always remember. Water efficiency equals energy savings. The energy draw caused by water use is significant. Running a hot water faucet for 5 minutes consumes as much energy as using a 60-watt light bulb for 14 hours. And this is a study that was done by the Environmental Protection Agency, and we rely on this agency in the States and Canada. Water efficiency reduces the amount of energy needed to heat, cool, treat, and distribute water. Energy savings translate to reduction of environmental impacts associated with energy use. Kitchen is the most energy-consuming room in a home. Cooking, lighting, refrigeration are responsible for almost 50% of the home's entire energy consumption. So when we design, we have lots of responsibility to understand the impact of the room we are in charge of. And we arrived to our quiz one, and actually I have 2 quizzes immediately for you, so please take your time, and again just indicate with your eye when you're ready to continue. Yes, only one right answer. Okay, so let's go through these 4 questions. Sustainable design principles include water efficiency, indoor air quality, timeless beauty, all of the above. Correct answer? Excellent. Ooh, I'm a good teacher. I love my class. Sustainability from a design perspective include human expectations, must not be concerned by economic expectations, includes human, environmental, economic expectations. D, include human and environmental expectations. Very good, excellent. 3, energy cost savings is a direct saving or an indirect saving. Very good. Water and energy efficiency, directly related, A, or measured individually? Very good. So just very quickly, so we cover what we went through already. I have one more quiz for you. Excellent. So let's go through these questions too. Ways to save water in the kitchen other than reducing flow rates. A, use of sensor operation. B, use of fully loaded dishwashers. C, use of foot pedal operation. D, all of the above. Which type is drinking water? Non-potable. Very good. Water efficiency reduces the amount of energy needed to heat, cool, treat, and distribute water. True. Kitchen is the most energy-consuming room in the home. Excellent. So let's move on. We had some pretty good discussions earlier about kitchen being the heart of the home. Why is that also very important to understand and properly attend to? Because we are spending nearly 90% of our time indoors. Today's kitchens are no longer associated with work, nor a space to hide. We want to show off our kitchen. We are proud of our new kitchens. All the high-tech products, the beautiful surfaces, appliances, and we do entertain, and we do way more than just cooking. It's no longer a working environment. It is an entertaining environment. If we look at this picture, let me ask this, how popular is open concept here in India? And I know we've talked about it, and simply because... That too? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. I see. Mm-hmm.
What happens to cool the open area with an air conditioner will be more energy consuming, more money consuming to cool that much bigger area. So in India, we prefer to have a close kind of kitchen.
I see.
So even if the cookhood is working.
So what would be a good solution that would allow you to have an open concept design? And that is very, very popular
the thing is,
in
but
Canada.
In our opinion, like nowadays the homes are getting smaller. So what we can design the concept on is like in the Western also, they have a living room kind of area where the kitchen is merging with the living room.
Mhm.
So the area will not be that much big, and it has to be made like that that it is sustainable. for
I was actually
air conditioning.
thinking in the line of addressing what the lady right
Yes.
on mentioned as to the fume and just
Yes.
the Indian
Yes.
way of cooking.
Indian way of cooking.
And wouldn't a properly designed fan, as we've talked yesterday with some of the interior designers, I was happy to hear that there is a process of developing an exhaust fan that's specifically designed for the Indian market. Now that's innovative, and that's why not? That's really self-serving and caring for your history and just finding solutions to.
Excuse me,
Yes?
sorry to interrupt, but I will like to differ here in the opinion, because we will have to work more on the kitchen hood. What happens when we are cooking? Kitchen hood is the one who picks up the fumes and throw out of the house instantly. Whereas when the exhaust fan, we use the exhaust fan, to reach the exhaust fan, the fumes have to reach to the top of the floor, and from there, and by that time the damage
That's
is done.
an excellent point. And actually,
by
I'm
that time
going
the
to go
damage is
into.
done.
Very good. I'm glad you brought that up, because actually I'm going to take some time to address that issue and what are the solutions. But I truly believe perhaps the European, right now, what's available as to exhaust fans, simply because in Europe and in America, we don't need the power you do, just simply how you cook. Perhaps it's not sufficient enough. And developing specifically one for yourself is an innovative way of dealing with this issue. Now, just very quickly as to what's green about an open concept. The whole idea of not increasing the footprint of the home and therefore not needing additional materials, and with materials, the usage of energy. Opening up spaces and creating a more airy interior is a green thing to do, is a sustainable way of supporting living and the changing environment, the lifestyle of changes, what we are going through. And if we look at the post, that is a support post in the middle, but if we would imagine a division wall between, we can immediately feel how tight the kitchen as well the living room would become. We wouldn't have access in the kitchen coming natural light this way with no interior partition. The natural light can penetrate deep into the space. And the kitchen, look at that. That's not a kitchen only, that's a bar, that's a party room, especially if you look at all the bottles. So again, the kitchen is more than just a cooking space, it is an environment, it is an entertaining center. Oops, it doesn't go. Okay. Could I have some help? It doesn't move. So let's look at what sustainable kitchen design should focus on. Water and energy efficient appliances and fixtures, low emitting, rapidly renewable, recyclable materials, optimize energy performance, enhanced refrigeration management, regional materials, construction waste management, quality, long-lasting, durable, and low-maintenance products. And it doesn't matter what style we are talking about. Could be traditional, transitional, modern, it does not matter. Now this next slide, what makes a product green? Perhaps this slide gave me the most difficulty as to what to include, how much to include, how deep I should go into. But basically, this is a slide that would definitely deserve a good hour of brainstorming and attacking, the fine shades that makes actually a product green and greener, and what moves a product from being green to being sustainable. Anyway, right now, I love this diagram just because of the connection again, to have a feel as to what's included in the sustainable consumption and production. For example, we have sustainable resource management, design for sustainability, cleaner production and resources, sustainable transportation, eco-labeling and certification, sustainable marketing, lifestyle, and go on. So let's just very quickly go through the basics of what makes a product green. Low or non-toxic compounds, and their production is free from toxic byproducts. They don't contain ozone-depleting substances in their manufacturing process, promote good indoor air quality, low in emissions of VOC, volatile organic compounds, and or formaldehyde, obtained from local resources and manufacturers. Wood and bio-based products employ and support sustainable harvesting practices or forest stewardship programs, easily reusable in whole or throughout disassembly, easily recyclable in a preferred closed-loop system, incorporates recycled contents, often salvaged, smartly reused components, often biodegradable, use third-party certifications, and I'm going to go into a little detail on that later on. Durable, low maintenance, produced using renewable resources, have low embodied energy, that is energy required to produce and transport materials. So, creating sustainable kitchens. Well, all kitchens, including these products, how we choose and use these products will determine if we are creating sustainable kitchen for us and for our clients. And before we continue, I have another quiz for you. Okay, so let's go through these. The amount of time we spend indoors versus outdoors is? Excellent. Sustainable kitchen design use regional materials, low-emitting, rapidly renewable, recyclable materials, water and energy-efficient appliances and fixtures, all of the above. Cooking, lighting, energy consumption responsible for almost 50%. Very good. What does not make a product green? Excellent. Very good. I'm very happy to hear that. So let's look at appliances. Let's touch on the appliances. Sustainable design goal is to optimize energy performance, water use reduction, protect indoor air quality. Saving energy prevents pollution. How many of you discuss the two costs associated with an appliance with your clients? Is this something new, perhaps? Anybody here from appliances? I was asking how many of you, when you deal with your clients, how many of you discuss the two costs? Very good, excellent. So you do discuss the future costs as well? Yes.
I think when you sell an energy efficient equipment, which is twice the cost, that's the only way to sell is look at the operating cost, not at the initial investment.
Exactly.
And the person who can invest in energy efficient is the people who have the money, because they need to do it consciously.
And also, some of the energy efficiency. Yes, go ahead, Deepak.
No, there's two ways to look at what you're talking, you know. It is either I invest it right now and forget about it, or
You pay.
through your nose
Exactly.
till you die.
We should, I think, also be able to explain to our customer how a particular appliance will impact their monthly energy bill.
Exactly.
Because it's okay to say your consumption will come down or it will go up, but by how much?
Yeah.
How many units will this appliance use per 10-hour day or 6-hour day or 12-hour day?
Absolutely.
So as a kitchen seller, I think it would be a good idea to be able to tell the customer that as well.
No, that's absolutely correct. And I find that many designers don't quite care to go into the detail and investigate the appliances they recommend, or just to, I don't even like the term of upselling an appliance, because if it's more energy efficient, yes, it tends to be more expensive initially. And the first expenses, of course, the client feels on their wallet is the purchase price, then to deliver it to home, and then to install it. Now, unfortunately, the client, I don't think they really realize that they are done with the purchase, because what they bought, that's going to continue to create cost for them in the future, as Deepak wonderfully touched on. And when we consider those future costs, then most of the time we can see that in a year or two, actually the appliance pays for itself throughout the savings of the water and energy savings. So this is a very important one I wanted to bring to the surface and ask you to just don't ignore it and bring it to your clients. I honestly can say I never ever lost an appliance sales once I explained this to my client. And they appreciated that I brought this to their attention and I cared for their future costs as well. And we're on to the refrigerator, the single biggest power consumer. So let's see, what are the ways to improve its efficiency? One large fridge is cheaper and more efficient to run than perhaps two smaller ones. Fridges with few accessories are usually more efficient. Ice makers, water dispensers use excessive energy. Adjusting temperature setting, different seasons can also save energy. This is also overlooked. And this is a very important one. The fridge should never ever be located near a stove, dishwasher, heat vent, or exposed to direct sun. Now, what is the reason behind that? The fridge job is to draw energy for the reason it can cool the food inside, and with that provide safety for us. Now, when we place a heat generating appliance right beside it, or very close to it, what happens? The fridge will have to work extra hard, and it will draw even more energy. So in my view, a designer, when makes these kind of errors, disrespects the client, does not care for the client's future costs. And it is a designer's responsibility to understand details like this and avoid such error. I'm simply going to call this an error. So when I see it, I immediately have a not so positive opinion of the designer. And when you explain your client, just take your time and explain the reason I gave you 36 inches space beside providing proper counter space is the reason because this way I'm protecting the fridge, and with that I'm protecting your future cost of energy bill as well, and protecting the fridge life expectancy as well. Then the client will again going to respect you. And let's say if the client decides to shop around and that other designer doesn't bring this to the client's attention, the client will think, well, that designer, look at that, how close she designed it, the two appliances for me, and now she's going to create me more cost than necessary. So again, you elevate yourself with knowledge like this towards the client, and you're doing the right thing. You're environmentally professional as well. Now, the sun, again, a big one. When you go to the job site and evaluate the space, just make a note of where the window is facing, what's the position of the windows, and where the direct sun hits in. And try to avoid designing the fridge into that space, again for the exact same reason. And when you explain your design to the client, again, don't be shy. Explain why you did it, because these are all testaments to your knowledge and to your respect to the client of saving money and saving their investment in the appliance so the appliance can last as long as possible. This is a dangerous one because we will definitely shorten the fridge life as well. So yet again, we disrespected the client's product, client's investment. So we don't want to do that. A sustainable designer pays attention to this and communicates them to the client. Next, let's look at the dishwasher. Dishwasher is pretty much the absolute one appliance we should recommend for everyone to have in their kitchen. Simply because dishwasher is more efficient and more hygienic than, let's say, doing dishes by hand. When we're doing dishes by hand, we do waste water. The dishwasher can do it with less water, faster, and as I mentioned, because of the hot air, dry and hot water it's used, it also kills germs as well. So it is definitely an appliance we should talk our clients in. Choosing dishwasher with an energy-save light wash cycle, which use less water and operates for a shorter amount of time, again a good option. Choosing dishwasher with an air dry option is another good one. Try to recommend the dishwasher to be run on full capacity all the time. Now, another thing, choose the right size and go with drawers. Choose the right size. Again, what do I mean under that? I assume you also have 18 inches dishwashers available before I continue on that. How wide is the dishwasher that you're using here? I assume 24 inches. Do you have 18 inches availability? Yeah, that's 24, yeah. So there is no smaller availability? Yeah. Right, right. Not yet. Yeah, all right. The reason in Canada, 18 inches is, for us designers, is a very smart way of using in a small space. For example, when a one-bedroom apartment obviously designed for only one or two people, then a smaller space, again, if we're using only 18 inches, a smaller dishwasher, it could serve perfectly for only one or two people. However, we could gain more cabinet space by having the reduced width for the dishwasher. Now, how many of you use and prefer drawers, dishwasher drawers? Is it available?
It is very new concept here in India, and I think only Fisher and Pickle come with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Emilia also has it.
Even IFB has.
Yes?
Two companies have this dishwasher, IFB and Fisher and Paykel.
Yeah, that's correct. New concept. Okay, let me just very quickly touch on why it's a good sustainable consideration. When, let's say, three generations live together, and I assume you have that, when grandparents, then their children and their children, three generations are living under one roof. Then, for example, the top drawer is easily accessible for the elderly. You don't have to bend in. The bottom drawer, the kids could get involved. They can also help with the dishes. Drawers are also, again, smart way of going when the space is limited, because simply the two drawers, just by rotating the dirty dishes from one to the other, serves as a storage space. So the everyday used items could just rotate, not needing an additional cabinet place. Storage place. And that takes us to cooktop, stove, and oven. Choosing freestanding stove, cooktop, and built-in oven are choices based on design and individual cooking style needs. I would like to highlight induction cooktops. Induction cooktops are safe and reliable alternatives to natural gas. Induction cooktops are 90% energy efficient, and this is huge, compared to the common gas or electric stove, which are 50 and 60% energy efficient. Induction models do not radiate heat, there is less heat wasted therefore, and cook food faster, and all these results in saving energy. Again, induction cooktops are 90% energy efficient. Induction cooktop heat food faster, that directly reduces the cooking time and therefore energy consumption. The unintended side effect of cooking with natural gas, it releases carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide, and volatile organic compounds. How many of you really consider this when you're cooking with your gas appliance?
This is a point, it's not across the world, it's not the same. The cost per unit of electricity makes the difference. In India, the gas is subsidized. So that's why that is more efficient in terms of cost. Right?
Yes.
We
Let's look at
also
the health
in-
aspect.
Yeah, also, because what you asked is, it can be a lot of ways. Production of electricity.
Yes, that's
from
correct.
looking at production,
But the big difference is, you're absolutely right, but what is the big difference? The big difference is it takes time for the electrical to reach the heat level that induction immediately provides us. So that's where the saving lies in, and the safety of it. Have you seen a video of demonstration of how wonderful? You can put ice on one side. If it does not connect with the pot, it absolutely doesn't burn. So again, there is no, there is a huge safety issue involved with children burning down a house. It's not happening. And it's just the instantness of induction where the huge energy saving is lied at. But I didn't know gas was subsidized. And I'm wondering, if these health considerations regarding these, combustion gases are really public knowledge.
You are absolutely right, it is. The thing is, here the appliances company have to step in and educate the customer about the benefits of what
Induction.
doing it, but the benefits of induction. Because about 2 years back or 3 years back, when we used to tell the people, oh, you can have a dishwasher in your kitchen.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you? Sorry, it's actually your responsibility as a kitchen manufacturer, designer, to educate the customer how that can be put in their home and how to use it. Because the appliance store has 1,000 appliances and they might have a vested interest to sell a certain product.
You are absolutely right. But as a kitchen designer, sometimes what happens, kitchen designer is not the appliances salesperson, or neither they are having that much knowledge of appliance.
Why?
Because induction is a totally new concept. About 2 years back,
If you're
they
selling a
have
product, you need
introduced.
to know exactly what you're giving a customer.
And another thing is, who will teach the designer? Nobody.
Yeah, we will get you a
is
microphone.
self-taught. You have to teach.
Yes, let's get a microphone to the lady at the back.
The problem what we have in India is that none of the cities in India have uninterrupted power supply. So suppose when I'm going to cook and I don't have power, what do I do? So that's why we have to have a stove with us. There is no alternative for that until and unless we have uninterrupted power supply everywhere. So this is the actual reason.
I didn't quite get everything. Yes.
Our utensils are all round bottom. We don't have flat bottoms.
You
we
have not-
are,
you
most of they are available, but
Okay.
the kind of dishes which are done.
You're right. You're
So,
right. You need special
even
dishes. You're
we
right.
have educated a lot of the suppliers from abroad that we need cut grills. Because, they don't, the flat bottom, it doesn't work.
You're absolutely right.
So
You-
again,
you're-
when they supply me a external accessory, the height goes up, the efficiency comes down.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely, I totally agree, and you guys really raised good points as well. However, I wanted to leave this with you. You should be aware of when you're using every day, you're using your gas, you're polluting, and what to do to save your health, your family's health, is to find ways of, and we will move on to actually that section, find ways of exhausting the combustions that we simply create just by cooking. So let's look at hood units, fans, and ventilations. Always, always, always try to ventilate outside. Ventilate the range outside, especially when natural gas is the energy source, to protect indoor air quality as well remove excess moisture. Steam from cooking can contribute to condensation and could also result mold. When cooking, it is critical to have an effective ventilation, especially with gas cooking. As I mentioned, releases byproducts of combustion, such as carbon monoxide, plus gas combustion produces water vapor, so moisture is an increased issue with gas cooking. So attention to ductwork is an important one to understand. To ensure the efficiency of the ductwork, of the ventilation system, the duct run, for example, if the duct run is too long, then we will have more turns, angles, and if the duct size is smaller, all results in less efficiency. So we've discussed we need efficient fans to help us clear the air when we're cooking. So again, just keep that in mind. How can you make that unit even more efficient? By paying attention to how you lay out the duct work and how far you run it, how many turns you have to make. And perhaps design your stove accordingly, where you're going to position your cooktop, your freestanding oven. So you can minimize this destruction and negativity to its efficiency. Makeup pair. I had a wonderful discussion during tea time with someone asked about this, and I was so happy to hear this question. I'm looking for the gentleman. Well, he's not here. But anyway, it was an excellent question about how important is makeup pair. Now, what is makeup pair? Have you heard of makeup pair? Why do we need makeup pair? Okay, makeup pair, in other words, replacement air. We do need to provide this because today's homes are built almost airtight, simply because we want to create energy efficient spaces. So in the old days, you know, the windows, the doors didn't close that good. They weren't that tight. Therefore, you know, the fresh air could kind of sneak in. We have, with the airtight solutions we are producing now for energy saving purposes, we are actually have this problem. We don't have enough return air in, and we have to provide for that. Now, let's look at why this is also important. When the exhaust ventilation system removes air from the kitchen, this air must be replaced. If replacement air is not provided, the fan will not operate properly. So yet again, how can you make your exhaust fan more efficient for yourself is here. In addition, a negative pressure will be created in the home that could create more problems. Problems with other appliances that need to exhaust also to the outside, such as gas furnace or water heater. This problem is called backdrafting. When backdrafting occurs, dangerous combustion pollutants, as well as excess moisture, will be pulled into the home. So it is, again, a sustainable designer understands these important details when we design. And we should be responsible enough to keep them in mind and design, and always, always, always share your knowledge. Explain yourself why you design. And tell the clients when they use the fan, perhaps open slightly the windows, because that also helps avoiding this backdraft problem. So kitchen is not an easy business if we really want to do it properly. There are quite knowledge we should be aware of. I'm going to skip the induction cooktop video now. And I'm on to sun solar ovens. And this is one of my little favorites, and I'm always puzzled why aren't we use them more often. Any idea? Is anybody using it? Anybody have sun solar ovens? You do? Mary, you grew 20 feet in my eyes. Excellent. That's amazing. And nobody in India, when you have some, oh, wonderful, the lady there. Amazing. So when do you use it?
In the morning, but it's not possible. I mean, I have it, but
That's
I've stopped
amazing.
cooking because we are rice eaters. The rice spills, and so does the grains. We are not happy with the quality that comes out.
Yes, it's
We are
very simple.
Yes,
You're absolutely right.
we are happier with the pressure cooker.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear you're using it. And you're absolutely right. I wish some appliance companies would take on to, just make it a little more sexy. So we want to use it better and more. But why it is a good idea? Well, let's look at it. Most energy efficient cooking appliance, as they require no fuel of any kind to cook, yet reach temperatures of 360 to 400 degrees. Let you cook outside, and with that not increase the indoor temperature. That would need additional energy to cool. No moving parts, no complex technology to break down or wear out. So it's extremely user-friendly, economical, environmental friendly. No fumes inside. No mess inside. Excellent way to protect indoor air quality. And it's inexpensive. Hello, you always complain. Things are expensive. How can we save? Well, here is one. Sun solar ovens. Wants to stay? Okay. So let's move on to quiz 4 very quickly. Ready? Excellent. So saving energy, prevent pollution. Correct. The biggest power consumer in the kitchen is the most energy efficient cooktop is induction. Effective ventilation in the kitchen includes all of them. Very good. So let's move on to windows and doors. Strategically placed energy-efficient operable windows provide natural light, ventilation, and temperature control, especially in the kitchen. We should look for Energy Star qualified double-pane windows. They use low E glass with solar shading, which makes the room more comfortable and reduces window condensation, reflect damaging ultraviolet light that protects interior furnishings from fading. It's very important. We should try maximize natural light, plentiful windows, skylights, window pane doors allow more access to natural light. When designing, please remember orientation, solar heat gain, and energy efficiency. And I will touch on these in a little more in detail. Now here is another one, eco cabinets that again, I am not comfortable just touching on a few things because it just has so much shades to it to properly cover it. We should respect it enough with an hour. But very quickly, just let's breeze through. Local cabinet maker, reduce embodied energy as cabinets are expensive to pack and ship. Formaldehyde-free materials and low VOC, volatile organic compounds. Low VOC adhesives, binders and finishes, solvent-free glues, factory-cured emission finishes. Rapidly renewable materials, for example, bamboo, woods, veneers from managed forests. Locally or domestically harvested FSC certified or salvaged wood. Look for third-party certification. Third-party certification of source of safety. that sets and measures air quality standards for cabinets. Anybody use these? Not in India. Pardon me? So it's available? Yes.
It's just that FSC, we don't have FSC managed forest here in India, but we are importing FSC certified, we are importing materials made out of FSC, FSC certified forests. Like MDF, we are importing MDF, some plywood is coming, which is coming from managed forests. Apart from that, like low formaldehyde materials, they're also coming into India. It's just that in India we don't have manufacturing, we are not manufacturing enough to be used in like bulk production.
So it's basically the demand isn't there just yet?
It's not the demand, it's the availability of the raw material. It's the glue which is not available, the formaldehyde free glue or the formaldehyde controlled glue which is not available here.
More important is we don't have a law saying you are supposed to use this.
I see.
Going to the flow. In Europe you cannot items.
So basically then your woods are local.
Whatever you are junking, we are taking.
That I don't believe, but I really appreciate it. Is there anything you would like to add? No, I really appreciate your input. Thank you.
One thing which I'd like to add to your previous slide, you spoke about the windows.
Yes?
So though we are not using much of air conditioning in our kitchens. Second, there's a proposal to draft certifications for windows.
Okay, that's good.
The Bureau of Energy Efficiency is working on that, and hopefully in a very short while there'll be some certification or some standard for having energy efficient windows where you can specify the U value or whatever performance parameter there is.
Okay, that's good news. I'm surprised to hear you don't use air condition.
In kitchens, no.
You don't need it? You just provide air circulation? How do you cool?
We prefer to sweat it out.
Pardon me?
Cost of operation and installation.
It's too much. It's too expensive, I see. So what are your methods to cool a space? Yes. And you know what? That's the most sustainable.
We are already green and sustainable.
Yes, you are. Thank you for sharing that. So we moved on to eco cabinets, and yes, if imported, review the material data sheet that should list everything that goes into the product. If you don't understand something, then ask questions. So very quickly, we are also going to touch on eco-friendly flooring. Again, FSC certified perhaps, or local wood would be considered eco-friendly. What kind of finishes you use on? Anybody, natural, water-based finishes available?
Flooring, usually we use natural stone or tile.
Oh, okay, very good. Again and again. That's a more sustainable way of going than wood. You're absolutely right. Is humidity an issue here? Yes. Okay, then you are going to even skip this. It's not really relevant for your... Excellent point. Excellent point. Thank you very much for sharing. That's a very good point also to insert in here. So let's look at eco-friendly countertops. There are quite a few selections, and I know you have Korean, you do have Caesar stone, right? What would you say, could you share with me here in the Indian market, what's the best seller for countertop? What material? Granite, still. Natural stone, I see. And how do you finish natural stone to make it non-porous and water resistant? Okay, so how do you achieve the...
See, we don't have a law saying it should be non-porous. See, the minute I import a material to seal it, the
Right.
cost of the product is much more than a DuPont Korean.
Mhm.
See, for you by law, you're supposed to have a sealed surface. The solid surface is the food grade material. In the sense, literally you can place food on top of it. There's nothing, no bacteria growing. Right? It is
In which material?
solid surface.
Solid surface, you're absolutely right,
Yeah.
yes.
But whereas you in the developed nation, solid surface is a common worktop. In India, that's for the luxury and premium.
I see.
For you, granite is luxury and premium. For us, because it's available
it.
so much,
Yes,
that it is for us
It
the
is
most
wild.
common,
Yes.
most efficient. Yes, we might not be hygienically applying the coat so that we protect it, but the cost of that material to apply on top and seal it is much more expensive than the material.
thank
so we
you.
do not seal it.
Yes, yes, thank you for sharing. Now, do you use glass as countertop? Rarely? Because, yes, you're right.
It may break, and the normal thinking of, like in India, we use very roughly our kitchens most of the times. And we see to it that we have to use it for 12 to 15 years at least.
Right.
So
And you know
we are
what?
not
That's a
comfortable
sustainable thing.
with the delicate materials in the kitchen. This is my opinion. So till most of the customers which we handle with, they are comfortable to have a glass top on their vanities, but in the
Okay.
kitchens, they are not very comfortable.
And how about using glass top over stone, just to protect
Yeah,
it and to become more hygiene as to surface?
Here I will again come.
Is that an option?
No, but it won't be creating a hygiene. You see, when we will be putting a glass over a stone, we won't be sealing it with a silicone. Right? And our kitchens are wet kitchens. So what happens? Water seep in, and it will create more fungus and more problem. That is why we people are not very much comfortable using glass on our kitchen tops.
Excuse me, I
yes?
think I should step in here now as an architect, interior designers, where we are designing kitchen days in and days out. The main problem, I won't say problem, it's our tradition how we cook. For example, daily we need to break open a coconut. Where do you do it? You don't use glass. And most of the houses, what we design or what we use ourselves, we have cooks to cook them, you know. We don't use it ourselves. Very few of us actually cook in the kitchen. So it is actually meant for the other people to use in our homes. So I would rather have a kitchen, as you said, which is sustainable, where I use granite, because granite is a very dense stone, where you don't need to actually seal it once you have got it highly polished. When it is mirror finished, you don't need to seal it actually. Because our granite is very dense and uniform. We don't have stones separating from that. You know, so it's a very good surface actually to use. And we have tried in most of the cases to use solid surfaces.
Yes,
Again,
very good.
when the housewife is using, we have actually, if you see, we design in larger homes, 2 or 3 parts of a kitchen. We have a pantry, we have a dry kitchen, then we have another kitchen, a wet kitchen, which usually is handled by the servants. I mean, I shouldn't use that word maybe, but the cooks and others, domestic helps. So we use different surfaces for different purposes. For the dry kitchen, when the housewife is using, the dadooing can be done in glass or and all that, but surfaces we go for solid surface. Whether it is, where in the wet kitchen, when it is used by help, it is we usually go for tiles and surface as stone, granite. This
Very
is
good.
how
Yes,
it is
let
done.
me ask about stainless steel.
No.
No?
No.
Still
Very less.
very commercial look.
Granite by nature is a porous material.
It's not.
Yes, madam. I mean, let us be useful. You take a pin next time, okay? Go around granite. You will stop every 5 centimeters or 3 centimeters. In a solid surface, it's 100% non-porous. Right?
See,
Actual
hot
use of non-porous.
It's all right if I am using it myself. When
No,
my
no,
cook
what
is
is the
using,
difference?
she'll
Is
put
the
the
food-
pressure cooker on it and the stuff it starts
I
melting.
know. See, but
So,
the
so
food
it is not at
getting
all
cooked.
advisable. It's
No,
not
no, no. Is
practical,
the
it is
food
not
getting
advisable.
cooked by a servant or something is for you or for somebody else? Yeah. That is absolutely the point. That is absolutely the point. But we cannot for that reason say when the owner of the Malik cooks, I will use solid surface, right? When somebody else cooks, I will use granite. If the food is cooked for you, I would rather put the solid surface there and I cook least. Let
No,
me put
sorry.
granite.
I cannot keep on maintaining it every week. I cannot ask the Korean fellows to come and cut open that place, put it, again grind it, and my whole house becomes full of that powder and that smell. It's awful. It's just awful.
I really second your opinion. Because there are a lot of things, like if we are using some material, there are a lot of things going on. It is a local product.
I get
working?
a very colorful and rich
working?
explanation. I am so happy and appreciative of
it's
your contributions.
Can I use that?
And certainly the shades you've put forward is very entertaining as well.
Clara, sorry, I just want to add to Clara's, I guess, point that she's, as an expert, she's giving you, I guess, the information. You can take from it what you will, and as kitchen companies, you might find points of difference in certain materials that someone else is not using, and you might want to experiment with that, because it's almost like an evolution. I mean, how we used kitchens in the Stone Ages is not how we use kitchens now. And it's just, I guess, just points to say, you take from it what you will, and if it's a point... It's not working? If it's a point of difference, excellent. If it's not, then I guess keep going as you are, but now you know, because you might not have known.
Yes, no, I definitely learned and I appreciate your input.
Bit of an evolution, and whatever new materials have been discovered or developed, and gradually their application keeps on increasing, and I think we are better off in that sense.
Yes, that's very good. Excuse me, I have low battery. I don't know what that means. Can you plug it in? Sorry about that. The battery in the computer is run. We should go for circumstances that will allow us to have the cleanest air possible for us, for our children, for our family. And what materials we'll bring in to the kitchen is certainly going to affect the air quality. So again, low VOC paints, for example, post-consumer recycled glass. Green adhesives, are these available here? Green adhesives and grout. Water-based, excellent, very good. So water-based is available. So minor things. It seems like minor attention to details, but could make a huge difference. And again, just remember we discussed 90% of our time we spend indoors. So we might not physically feel the effect of, toxic things in the air. We don't see them, but they are there. And there are ways to, control them, even eliminate them by not bringing in more toxic things when we renovate. And we, for example, do tiles. Let me ask this. If I bring up, hello? If I bring up my computer, or you can fix it? Do you want me to bring up my computer? Oh, it's done. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, okay. Very good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we've discussed that, and my apologies for the glitch. We were definitely there. Oh, actually I'm going the wrong way. Doesn't move. Yeah. Go to logistics, please, if you can. And while we do that, just very quickly, let's cover that. Using regional materials is an important element of sustainable design. Using materials or products that have been extracted, harvested, recovered, manufactured within 500 miles of the project site is a good measuring guide. When we consider materials, just pay attention to the origin of the product, how to get the product from the supplier to the site. Packaging considerations are also important, and the materials used handling also significant to the environmental impact. And I reached modular compact kitchen. It would be wonderful to have picture for it, but just to stay on time as much as possible, I'm going to continue. So modular compact kitchens, wow. Throughout the 2 days, lots of wonderful conversations over, and it's an important part of today's India. Am I correct? Do I understand it correctly? Very good. Why I also like compact kitchens? Because it is a sustainable way of doing business. And please do communicate this to your clients, because when you're working with compact kitchens, there is little to no waste. The use of modular compact kitchens help reduce the carbon footprint of any kitchen, reduces construction waste, expedite specifications and construction and installation, easily specify sustainable attributes in the same spec, for example, low VOC and certified products, energy efficient appliances and lighting, water saving fixtures, recycled components, renewable, non-renewable sources, indoor air quality, benefits of smart small space design, and all these are direct result of energy consumption level being reduced. So when you carry modular kitchen, go and brag about how sustainable you are. You have every right to do that. And that would take us to quiz 5, which are going to squeeze now, or skip now rather. Yes, I have it. Just 1 second, I'll be back. Skip the quiz. And let me just touch on artificial lighting. Artificial lighting can account for 15% of our building's annual electricity use. Lighting is critical necessity of any indoor space. Good or bad lighting has huge effects on our mood and overall happiness, so it is very important. LED lighting, well, when I walked through the show, I saw only LED lighting, so I think it is safe for me to assume you guys are right on and you're already using it. This is nothing new. And you understand its benefits, right? The beauty of it, it doesn't release heat as energy compared to other lightings, right? That's a big one too, because when it doesn't release heat, then again, we don't have to find ways of cooling the space too. And then the longevity, etc., it's just a wonderful thing to have. Daylighting design. If we could find daylighting design, do you want me to go? Okay, which one? I don't want to. This? Just 1 second, let me catch up here. So that was modular kitchens. Let's skip the quiz, and we covered artificial lighting. So daylighting design is a big one of my favorites. I love spending time on it and just really dig deep how we can use it very efficiently, and it just also allows us to be very creative. And designers, we love being creative. So what is daylighting design? Intelligently controlled admission of natural light into the space through windows to reduce or eliminate electric lighting and save energy. And 2 words I would like to just repeat so it stays with us: intelligently controlled. It's very important. And why is it important? Because proper daylighting design is the careful balance of heat gain and loss, must avoid overheating, I assume especially here in India, glare control and variation of daylight availability, careful balancing of shading devices to reduce glare control and excess contrast, careful balancing of window spacing, window size, glass selection, careful balancing of the reflectance of interior finishes and the location of any interior partitions, and optimization of architecture features and user productivity. All these results in reduced emissions and reduced operating costs. So again, we should be aware of these so we can serve our clients responsibly and we can save costs for them in the future. And that takes us to designing for orientations. Throughout the morning panel discussion, I wanted to touch on, I don't know how clearly I came through, but for a designer, also very, very important to consider the orientations of the space. We have 4 orientations. We're all aware of north-facing, south-facing, east-west facing. Now, how we design with each given site location is where our professionalism should come in, our creativity should come in. And again, it's something we should brag about. When you have this knowledge and you use it for your designers, you have the right to brag about and show your clients how professional you are and above the rest of the designers or your competitors. So just very quickly, north-facing windows are advantageous for daylighting, admit relatively even natural light, producing little glare, almost no summer heat. South-facing windows most beneficial for daylighting, allow most winter sunlight into the space, but little direct sun during the summer when properly shaded. East-west facing windows provide good daylight penetration during the day. However, they may cause glare, could quickly overheat, contribute little to solar heating during the winter. East-west facing windows should be the most controlled. And with that, are we up for a quiz or should I skip? Okay, please do it. I'll give you a minute. Ready? Excellent. Artificial lighting can account for 15%. Very good. What is not part of proper daylighting design? And I know this might be a tricky question. No, shading is part. No, that's also part of it. Actually, and I planned this. I planned it because I weren't sure if my audience is going to be sleeping, and now I know it's not. They don't. You're not. But anyway, I planned this, and I know it's tough to pick out, but it is C. Use of as many windows as possible, and the reason for that is because, again, it depends on the site location. Let's say we have huge floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall windows, but we have a forest behind us with tall trees that constantly going to keep us in shade and limited natural light. There is nothing we can do there to change that, right? So basically, proper daylighting design is the glare control, use of shading devices when needed, and careful balancing of heat and gain loss. Number 3, above the sink. What lighting? Task lighting. And I assume everybody's aware of the 4 lighting, so I'm not going to go into detail on those. And number 4, good lighting has a huge effect on our mood and overall happiness. True. Very good. And we arrived to greenwashing. What is greenwashing? A marketing technique falsely claiming environmental responsibility, making something seem more environmentally friendly than it is really, and through advertising ploys, misinformation, or dishonesty. How to avoid greenwashing? 1, Make meaningful claims, be specific. 2, look for certifications from independent, recognized third party. Again, third-party certifications help us locate products that will increase indoor air quality and verify healthy, responsible products. Look for packaging. Is the packaging green as well? Can it be disposed of in an environmentally friendly, safe way? 4, no misleading pictures and colors. We don't need that. When we have a green product, then the green product has green attributes, and that's what we should include. List the ingredients, therefore. Be cautious of hidden trade-offs. Many products are more energy efficient, for example, but may still be produced from hazardous or non-recyclable materials, or must travel from far distances. And I have 3 pictures here to demonstrate greenwashing. I really love this cartoon. The lady asks, "How do I know your company is environmentally friendly?" And the man says, "The wording, the typeface, the pictures of nature in the brochure." Says absolutely nothing about the product. I don't know what he's carrying still, right? And then the picture above, another very good one. I mean, we have a soda can growing on either a lemon tree or orange tree. No, that's never gonna happen. And then we have a plastic bottle, claiming new eco-shape bottle. And that takes us to design statement. Let me ask this, do you provide design statements for your clients? Or is that, that's not really a practice? Not a practice. But you do explain your design, right? When you're done with your design, you walk through the design, the client, as to why you made certain decisions.
It depends how interactive the customer is. They are interactive.
So they are just visual, rather, if
Yeah.
they like what's on the drawing, then that's it.
If they are taking interest, no doubt, the designer also take interest and tell them. But somehow, somewhere, people sometimes say, "Oh, okay, I don't have time," or busy.
I see.
So they are happy with the design, then they move on.
Right.
Okay, now put in
I
production,
see.
fine.
I see. So not much talk.
Not much talk.
Not much
most
talking.
Most of the times, not much.
How much?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. How much? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I still would like to just walk you through what I'm doing. Approximately 10 years ago, I started being interested in sustainability and started reading up and taking as many courses as I could. And slowly, just because of the knowledge I gained, I started redoing my design statement. I always had a design statement for a client. But gradually, it turned into a sustainable design statement. And what I always do is explain all my design decisions or suggestions, recommendations from a sustainable aspect of it. I always make sure I find opportunity to show them why that will be beneficial for them. And that's where we talked about designers and salespeople should be one. The key comes into it. Whatever I recommend, I have to make sure my client feels will be a beneficial from it, one way or another, either by saving money throughout energy and water saving initiatives, or just by design. I touched on location of the fridge, for example. Yet again, I am not shy. I make sure they understand I'm saving them money with that decision. And so again, very quickly, I'm gonna share this with you, and then you take away as much as you'd like. But I do explain my design recommendations, as I mentioned, that affects positively my client's health and protects the environment at the same time, because everything is connected. As I've mentioned, when we're saving energy, it's not just the client will save money, we're also polluting less. Now that's a big one in my book. I feel very good about it. And let me tell you, my client feels good about it too. 2, be specific. I can't press enough. It's not enough to claim it's green or sustainable. We have to provide details. We have to back up our claim. And that is the only way to avoid greenwashing. So for example, you can use this. The following guiding sentences, for example, from me, and points will help stay focused and clear. For example, this project has been designed to maximize the environmental performance of the home with focus on return on investment. Now again, if I stop here, if I just give this sentence to my client, I'm doing greenwashing, big time. I cannot stop there. I have to be specific. So I continue. This has been achieved in the following manner. And then I address design life. I address design life as to the years of expectancy through technology, warranties. I also pay huge attention to timelessness. Again, if I design something, perhaps the client, and it happened to me, for example, a good 15 years ago, blue was so in. And I remember my client came in and wanted all blue countertops. And I told her, and it was Korean, so it was thousands of dollars, 15 years ago especially. So it was a huge investment. And so I talked my client out of that. I said, well, blue is hot now, but be careful, because in 5 years now, it's not just you might get tired of it and it will be out of, because colors are come and go. But you have this huge investment that you're going to hate, and it's going to stamp an outdated feel to it simply because of the color. There are other ways to be hip, and the colors can be, for example, that blue we introduced in curtains, in some decorations, which are easy and inexpensive to replace. Another big one, for example, handles. The drilling, and I assume I'm right, especially with compact kitchens, the drillings are pretty much the same. Am I correct? It's something like, 3 and a 3/4 as to distance? Oh, but you have European handles, no? But Hetic is here. Hetic doesn't sell handles? Oh, I see. Okay. I just assumed because I saw the suppliers here who also supply, handles, and knobs are easy because we have only one hole. However, at least in Canada, the drilling is the same, and hey, big deal. It's very inexpensive, 3-4 years, let's say, when brass is out. Brass was hot again 10 years ago, and for example, in Canada, now it's coming back. So I have clients returning to me and saying, Clara, I would need brass. And I did their kitchen 15 years ago, just to refresh my kitchen. How you target saving potable water. List it. Materials, again, the same. List where you're sourced it from, where you target, what you're targeting. Innovation, durability, sensibility, regionalism. Indoor air quality is a huge one. Now, this is where I'm going to say, and I'm just have a very strong stand on. If you want to be in kitchen design, you owe this to your clients to care for their health and provide, the healthiest materials that is possible. And let me just squeeze something else in here. What I would never ever do, just to meet a budget, I would never ever take on the responsibility to work with products that are perhaps not healthy just because I want to meet the budget. I always bounce that back. If I have a difficult client, and I mean, budget is very, very important, then I always make sure I present the options and I properly explain the consequences of the option, and I want my client to decide. I do not take on such responsibility, and I warn you not to do that either. And don't be afraid. First of all, a big weight comes off your shoulder. Second of all, the client can come back and blame you. Ever. It was their decision, whichever they will decide. And most importantly, it does matter how they're going to decide, because we want them to go with the healthier solution. But most importantly, they will respect you, regardless of how they're going to pick. So this is as important, again, I would like to leave with you. Waste management, again, what you did, be proud of it, how you managed it during the construction, and what solutions you provide throughout the usage for the client to avoid waste going to the landfill. And we touched on reject fashion. That's again an important to leave. So this is our last quiz. Only 2 questions. So, greenwashing is, correct answer, all of the above, very good. How to avoid greenwashing? Being very good, specific on everything. So as to conclusion, again, any steps, even the modest steps, would represent a significant progress. Don't underestimate your influence in sustainable design. Design for well-being. Be a role model of ethics in design. Examine how sustainable is your supply chain. And I didn't have too much time, because that's also a very good one to consider. When you have green suppliers, again, they provide you the base to be green as well and be sustainable. And if you don't, then they make your life harder as well. And that's the future. So again, we didn't have time to go into much of the economics as to investing in sustainability being the right way and the only way for the future. If you're in business just for really today and short term, hey, ignore it. But if you want to grow, and if you want to move forward, if you want a long-term business, then you really have to consider sustainability as the only way of continuing. Yes, equity, ethics, and profit can exist together. It's not fighting each other, not at all. And again, here I am, standing in front of you, 10 years ago, being just simply interested. Where did it take me? My clients seek out my expertise, if I may say. I do not have to rush and run after business. I'm at the point when sometimes so busy, I tell the clients, I won't be able to visit you for 3 months, and they wait. I don't pick up the pen or pencil unless I have a retainer, because I just don't have time. And look at this, a new road opened up for me. Here I am. I really appreciate you listening to me, and I'm still amazed I'm doing this. So it's just endless. Recognize the challenges as opportunity. Opportunities for your business to become a very respected leader. And I said I'm going to share my email. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I promise I'm going to reply to you. And in the 6 months as I receive them. And I thank you very much for your time. And I really respect all of you being here. Thank you.